Hey guys, what's up? This is MooneyB123 coming today. So here's the camera slider motor controller that I've developed with help from my brother. This has several features built into it. Number one, it has speed control. It also has a relay built into it that allows the camera slider to slide back and forth endlessly. It goes down to one end, hits a switch, and then that automatically sends it the other way, hits another switch, and it just bounces back and forth. And I'll show you inside of here in just a second. There's the relay that does that. Then the third thing is this timer that moves the carriage and acts as an intervalometer. It moves the carriage a little bit, stops it, and then whenever it cycles from moving to stopping, there's a B output, and on the B output there is a connection here to connect to my camera that sends a command to the camera to actually snap a shot. This is a pause button, and it's actually paused right now. You see this little thing flashing right here? That has paused the timer, and it's paused in my B output. B is the one where the camera's not moving. And then this acts as a bypass switch for the timer. Because most of the time, the reason I'll be using this camera slider is I just want it to be sliding back and forth. I won't be doing a bunch of intervalometer shots with this, a shoot, move, shoot type situation. Most of the time I'll just want it to be moving. So I got thinking, well, if I'm not going to use that much and this thing uses power, how can I keep that out of the system so it's not using power when I'm not using it, and then I'm not going to be using it most of the time? Well, easy. I just have this bypass that bypasses this, and that way I don't even have to plug this in. I've got two powers over here, and you could just hook these up to one where it just comes from one battery. I wanted to have these separate. This one goes to my timer. I wouldn't even have to plug this one in, and this would still move. The camera slider would still move, and with the speed control still built in. All right, let me just open the top of this real quick and just show you what's going on in here. Okay, so here's the relay. This is what lets it move back and forth. That right there is the speed control, and this right here is the timer. And then of course here's my pot for changing the speed. Here's my switches for pausing, and then you can't see it over here, but there's this connection for my camera to hook up to it. Okay, before I show you the actual remote shutter thing working, I just want to show you just the basic functions of this first. Okay, so the timer's paused right now. And actually, what I'm gonna do first, I'm gonna show you that I'm just gonna bypass this, and that'll go, and that way I can just completely just unplug the timer, and it still moves. Control the speed. Okay. And I just turned the bypass switch off, and with the bypass switch turned off, the motor's still plugged in, but without that timer being able to close the relay in there, then it's not going to be able to work. So if I have the bypass switch turned off and the timer's off, then it's not going to move. Alright, so all I'm doing is just taking pictures of this tree right here. Okay, I'm going to plug in the timer, and you'll see it'll start moving. Okay, and that's paused, so it's going to stop. Alright. It comes on for 0.6 of a second. I can turn that down. Okay, now I want to take this and put it back down to the end, because for now I don't have an extension cable for my release, my shutter release. Got one of those ordered from Amazon. Should be here in a couple days, but okay. Alright, now it's always going to take one shot at the beginning, but now I'm going to start the timer and turn this way down, and you'll hear the shutter. Right now it's at B, it's going to go up to A for just a second and then go back down to B. Every time it goes back down to B, it's going to send a a command over to trigger the shutter. And that's it. And I can adjust this timer into seconds, minutes, or hours, really in seconds. But when it's in seconds, the highest you can go is to 100 seconds. But if you follow the rule of 600, generally you're never going to need to get above 100-second exposure or anywhere near that. So it's pretty going to cover 99.9% of the situations that you might need.